Hey listener, it's Jordan and Luke here on a special Friday announcement.
It was Friday?
We always put these out on Fridays.
Okay. Yep. It's Friday, everyone. It's definitely not a different day of the week.
I mean, we don't know when they listen. It could be any day of the week when they're listening to this.
That's true.
But we have done another full calendar year of this podcast.
Can you believe it?
I can believe it because I was there for the whole thing.
You know, we do these a week in and week out, and pretty much every week we record. Sometimes we have to double up or whatever. But it's a real compression of time because we look back. I'm like, when did we do this? And what were we? And where were we? And I forget these things. But yeah, another year.
It's funny. I believe the other podcast we were recording, you referred to way back when we recorded Automan. I was just like, that was this year.
Oh, did I say that?
In my mind, I'm just like, that was 12 months ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's still 12 months, though.
It's true. But with 4 years, that now there is a way back when.
Yeah, there is a way back when. Because, like, our first show was Tech War, right?
Uh-huh.
And that was, like, 2018?
That'd be 4 years.
That'd be it. I did the math, everyone. We were younger men then.
We were, weren't we?
Yeah, technically 4 years younger. You had that mustache you were rocking back then?
It was a good one. I was a real Burt Reynolds.
I always say that about you.
We were under 40 when we started, Jordan. Now,
oh, I know.
We are 40-year-old men.
We're 40-year-old.
And I think having a podcast at 40 years old is far more embarrassing.
Is it?
I don't know how you feel.
Oh, I'm fine with it. Whatever. There's other things to be embarrassed about.
You finally aged up to the age you've always been, so you feel great.
Oh, no, I'm not there yet. I'll hit there at about 65.
Oh, 65 is when you'll be finally comfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
But as listeners to the podcast for these 4 years will probably already know, and anyone who's read this title to this episode, you know as well.
Dear God, can you imagine someone listening to 4 years of this? Of you and I yakking about these things?
I like to think that they're good friends of ours now.
Yeah?
I don't know. I mean, they've listened to us so much. They must feel like they know us very well.
It's very kind if someone's been listening.
I mean, they probably don't know much about you because you keep it all very close to your chest and refuse to talk about your life on the podcast.
Is that what the podcast is, though? It's us talking about our lives?
You're very closed off to the listener.
Yeah, all right.
But
yeah, let's ask me all the details about the intricacies of my life on this podcast where we discuss some 1970s TV movie.
It's what the listeners want.
Yeah, that's what they want. My heart was broken today.
That's every other day.
That's every other day, yeah.
We are going on a hiatus. We're going to take a few weeks off, get a chance to regroup, rebreathe, learn about ourselves outside of this podcast. Mm-hmm. Jordan can get that heart unbroken.
I'm doing my best, everyone.
Unbreak my heart. How's that song go?
Yeah, was it Tony Braxton?
I'm not sure. I didn't even know the melody to sing it to.
Yeah, I think it's Tony Braxton.
But before we get into some announcements about the year ahead of us, let's have some fun first, Jordan.
Okay, I love fun.
The listeners know that's not true.
I love fun.
Here is a little thing I put together for you, Jordan. I thought we'd look back, a little retrospective of the fourth year of this show. And I thought we'd look at the highs and the lows. Okay.
Probably more lows than highs.
And not like for the show in general. I'm looking at us individually what we liked and what we didn't. And why don't we start with episodically or TV movie wise? Just these are like any episode or TV movie. I was wondering if you could guess which, you don't have to say the exact episode, but which series you think you gave the lowest episode ratings to. Not in total, but like if there's one episode in that you would have given a low rating to. And what do you think that rating was?
I would say, I think the show I probably gave lowest rating would probably be Time Cop, and I bet it was a 1.
For one of the episodes of Time Cop?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You are correct that the lowest rating you gave during this year was a 1. So it's the lowest you went.
Yeah, and was it Time Cop?
It was not.
Oh, really?
You gave it to 5 different things.
Oh my! Wow, I really went low this year. You know what? Let me guess. I'm gonna guess. What's that show? Super Train.
Super Train. You did for an episode called Superstar. You gave a 1. That's one of the 5.
Automan.
Nope.
What else did we watch? Did I give a 1 to Kolchak?
Nope. You watched some TV movies in there too.
Oh yeah, I won't remember them.
I won't. Just like I don't remember anything.
Well, because you know what, everything gets compressed, and these little one-offs, unless you tell me the title, I won't remember them.
Well, the other series episode you gave a 1 to was Outcasts, episode 6.
Oh, I wonder how that must have been bad.
Do you remember Outcasts at all?
A little bit. I don't remember how bad that particular episode was. I remember there was ghosts and they were talking to the guy and playing chess or something.
And there were 3 TV movies you gave a 1 to. And it's very funny because when I read these off, there's a real theme to these 3 episodes, these 3 TV movies.
What are they?
It was Winter Dragon, Red Dwarf USA, and Darkman. 3 things that you could argue were never televised pilots.
That's a good point. Yeah. So I don't like watching proof of concept things.
They make you very upset.
Did you give 1s to anything?
I have 2 lowest rated they're both TV movies actually, but 2 lowest ratings were for 2 TV movies. And can you guess what my lowest rating was this year? Because there's 2 of them.
Your lowest rating. I bet it's not the same as mine. Oh no, maybe it was. Was it Winter Dragon? Was that what it's called?
No. But what do you think the number was? What do you think the lowest number I gave something was?
0.5.
That's correct. That is the lowest number. I gave 2 things 0.5. And they're not. There's no overlap here. There's no overlap.
Oh, no overlap. So 0.5. What's the series we watched?
No, TV movies.
Second. Oh, they're both TV movies.
Both TV movies.
This year, TV movies, 0.5. I'm going to say Trapped in Space?
Nope.
Wasp Woman.
Yes, Wasp Woman is one of them. 0.5 I gave Wasp Woman.
Oh, I know what it is. Black Noon.
I'm afraid it's not. It is Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, Nick Fury.
I gave Wasp Woman and Nick Fury 0.5.
Full disclosure, I pulled up a list of our shows there because I was like, this is embarrassing. I can't remember anything.
That's fair. I think that's very reasonable. Which brings us to our next version. So these are the highest rated either TV movies or standalone episodes. And do you want to guess what the highest rating you get, like number-wise, what the highest rating you would have given this year was?
I'm going to guess an 8.
You've never given a higher rating than 7.5.
No, that's on me because I think the shows historically that I've picked have been quite bad. So that's on me.
And you gave 5 different things a 7.5. I'll give you some hints here. 3 of them are individual episodes of series, 4 of them are individual episodes of series, and 1 is a TV movie.
Okay, well I guarantee gave Kolchak a 7.5.
How many episodes of Kolchak do you think? Because it's more than 1.
I bet 2 of them.
3 episodes of Kolchak, 7.5. The Ripper, Spanish Moss Murders, and Demon in Lace.
That was a good one. That was a good episode.
And then that leaves 1 series and 1 TV movie.
1 series and 1 TV movie. I bet. Did I give Black Noon a 7.5?
You did not.
Oh, I know what I did. Between Time and Timbuktu.
That's right. You gave that Between Time and Timbuktu 7.5. And then do you want to know what the final series was?
Martian Chronicles?
Yep. Part 1 of Martian Chronicles.
That was, you know what? I look back on that fondly, the Martian Chronicles.
Now, what do you think the highest number rating I gave was this year?
I bet you gave an 8 or 9.
It is an 8. You're correct. The highest rating I was able to give a series this year was an 8. And they are actually both TV movies as well this time around.
I bet
no overlap.
Steel Collar Man?
Incorrect.
What else? Max Headroom?
Max Headroom was one of them.
What else would you have liked that much?
I don't think you'll ever guess the second TV movie.
I don't know what you would have liked so much. Yeah, what was it? There's nothing else we watched.
Here Comes Tobor.
Here Comes Tobor? I can't even remember that. You gave that an 8?
I gave Here Comes Tobor an 8, apparently.
Interesting choice.
All right, Jordan. Continuing this, let's talk about our personal ratings. What do you think the lowest series average for you personally was this year? Guess the number, and then guess the series.
For me personally, again, I'm going to say Time Cop, and I'm going to guess it was like a 3.
I'm sorry, you like Time Cop more.
Really?
Your lowest?
It's got to be if it's not that, it's got to be, what was the show in the train? Super Train.
Correct. It was Super Train. What do you think you gave it average wise?
Oh, 2.8.
3.33.
3.33. Yeah, that show is not good. And I can't believe I missed the episode with Klinger.
What about me? What do you think the lowest series average I had was? What number and series?
I'm gonna also guess that it's Super Train.
I'm sorry, it's not.
Well, how is this possible? So your lowest, it's a series. Oh, is it? Was it Outcasts?
It was not. It was Other Space.
Other Space.
And my series rating average was a 2 because I gave every episode a 2.
You know what's funny? I forgot about that. You're right. That I should have known that.
I forgot about it too till I saw it. I'm like, oh yeah, Other Space. I hated that.
To be honest, I didn't even remember we watched that. That's how little impact it made.
All right, Jordan. What about the highest series? What do you think your highest rated series was, and what do you think that average number was?
I'd be blown away if it's not Kolchak.
It's not Kolchak.
I'm blown away.
We both have the same series as our highest rated series this year.
Really? What did we watch? Oh, are we counting Martian Chronicles?
Absolutely.
Martian Chronicles. Yeah, that was good. And I'm going to guess it was like...
What do you think you gave it?
Overall, I bet about 7.
6.5 for you.
Yeah.
And for me, 6.17.
I like that we're very close on that. I think we both, though, did feel similar.
It was one we
that.
definitely agreed on. I think we both enjoyed the same amount. And I thought it was interesting we ended up with the same, very similar scores and having it as our highest rated series this year.
Mm-hmm. But it's so funny. I can't. It's such a I don't know if someone listening feels differently, but it all sort of blends together, and you sort of remember the highs and the lows, which is funny that you're kind of doing that. But some of this stuff you just don't remember, like Red Dwarf. I barely remember it. What happened?
You gave it a 1.
All right.
Don't you remember? It was. We got to watch 2 pilots.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. The British, and the American remake of the British. Yeah. I remember.
You don't remember at all?
I remember a little bit.
At any rate, those are the highs and lows of this year. A little look back at the year that was.
Yeah.
And looking forward, Jordan, we have some news for the listeners.
Okay.
Listeners love news. Get to the edge of your seat, listeners.
Yeah. I think it's news for me, too.
You paid for the whole thing, but you're not going to need
it. That's right. That's funny.
We're doing a change of format, a little bit of a change of format for year 5.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We did talk about this, didn't we, Luke? I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry.
He knows what I'm talking about. We just didn't pre-discuss this hiatus announcement.
Right. Yeah.
Everything will stay relatively the same. The escape pod will still be there, which if you don't know how that works, we watch 3 podcast episodes of a series. If the rating falls below a series average of 5, we will use the escape pod and then go to the final episode and watch it. That will remain in place, the escape pod. Jordan, the warp drive remains in place.
Never used it.
Never been used.
It's shiny. It's still in its box. And that basically is at any point, if one of us just cannot take a show, we can warp drive to the very end. And we get to do that once a year where we just go, I'm not going to watch this series regardless of anything else.
And those are different from the rules we established originally, but that's fine. I think those are good rules.
Yeah, I think I added there was a rolling of a dice or whatever. We don't know because it's never happened. We'll see what happens once we take it out of the box, you know?
I'm glad we put that in the show so long ago.
It's been in for 2 years. We've never done it.
But the format change we're discussing about is for our next year, our 5th year of the podcast. We are going to do something a little bit different because, Jordan, I don't know about you, but when we started this, it was never necessarily my intention to only watch single season shows.
That's right.
It just became easiest thing to do because anything longer than a season is almost unmanageable.
Yeah. It sort of the format of this show kind of took on its own feeling because we were trying to watch as many series as possible and watch as many different things. So it became generally shows that had one season, one and done, and we can kind of talk about it. That's just what
it was
became.
Just too much pressure and annoyance to have to watch something on repeat for such a long period of time.
Yeah, exactly. But people do it, by the way, and shows we've had as guests, they're watching episode of whatever show. It's just never what we were doing.
Yeah. It would have broken us.
It would have broken me probably more than you.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely would have broken Jordan. But I will say that after all this time and having watched some bad shows, there have been some ones where I'm like, thank God we don't have to watch anymore.
Yeah, Other Space.
But no longer, Jordan. But no longer.
No longer.
We are going to next year do a season of multi-season shows.
Mm-hmm.
But like we said, watching the entirety of a show will break us.
Yeah, so we're going to pick and choose a little bit.
We've come up with a system. What it is, here's what we're going to do, everyone. We're going to guarantee to be watching the pilot of a series and obviously the finale of a series. Those will happen. Whether we get all the way through, we're always going to see both of those things because the warp drive will take us to the finale. Mm-hmm. And then we will watch the best 3 episodes of each season. How will we determine what the top 3 episodes of each season are? I don't know.
I mean, we could probably just look at the ratings.
I think what we'll probably do is I'll probably just Google up like best of lists and then also compare it to IMDb scores. I'm going to keep IMDb scores as a last resort because they're so unreliable. But essentially, we will pick the top 3 episodes of a season. So if a series has 3 seasons, we'll watch 3 episodes of each season, theoretically. Yeah. That said, Escape Pod, Warp Drive, they're all still in play.
Yeah. It enables us to get a general
it's a sampler
overall
platter.
Yeah, exactly, of what this show is.
And only the best of that show.
Hopefully these are shows that aren't super serialized.
If they are, it's going to be very funny.
It's going to be a problem, yeah.
But that said, we want you, the listener, to help us out a little on this because we're going to try to watch the best episodes of these seasons. When we pick a show, before we start reviewing it, we will probably use our social media. I haven't figured out how yet, but probably on social media, we will put out a call to you and we will let you know what series we're watching. And if you have favorite episodes of that series, you can reply and let us know what your favorite episodes are. And we will weigh those as a possible top 3s for each season. So you'll have a chance to like tweak the number. Like if we're looking and like there's a lot of like 7.1s for a series that season, if your episode's on there, we're gonna give that episode a little thumbs up and it's gonna enter the rhythm. So we want your advice.
And we should say that people being very kind when they email in or tweet or whatever they do. And generally the suggestions have been very good suggestions about either series we should watch or people have been very nice to suggest other things outside of the podcast we would like. Like, I don't remember who it was, Luke, but someone suggested those Piccadilly Westerns.
Oh, see,
that was fun.
Sent those
yeah,
along.
yeah. I've been reading a few. I like that suggestion.
But yeah, so it's just a little chance for if we're gonna watch something, you're like, oh, I love that show. Here's the episode you should watch. We'll take that into consideration when we pick our top 3 of each season. Mm-hmm. So it'll be a little different next year. We'll be just doing quick sampler platters. We're gonna be like, we're getting a continued drag. We're flying over the whole galaxy of that show, but we're not stopping at every planet. We're just stopping at the best planets.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Good analogy. Yeah, I love it.
But that's something to look forward to when we come back after an unspecified number of weeks off.
Yeah. Well, a little breather. You have time to grow your mustache.
Bring it back.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to grow a soul patch this year?
It's a little aggressive.
That's you, though. You're a little aggressive.
No, I'm not. I'm not aggressive. I keep telling people I'm not aggressive.
But that wraps up this hiatus announcement. So thanks for sticking with us for another year, everybody.
Yeah.
If you're new, thanks for joining us. If you're old, thanks for being here. I mean, new or old to the podcast, not your ages. I mean, although I guess if you're a baby, welcome to the world.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that, everyone. Sorry about being a baby now. It sucks.
Babies don't know.
Well, they're going to find out.
They don't know what they're missing, Jordan.
This is what you brought me into? This crap? It's hot.
Well, poor Jordan goes off on one of his classic rants.
Oh, it's not hot outside? It's not hot out?
I mean, it's hot, but it's also summer, so it's hard to know.
There's that. Yeah.
Where one of us is a climate change denier, one of us is a climate change believer. That's the crazy dynamic of this podcast.
Did I ever tell you, Luke, and as the last thing I'll say, I found out one person I worked with was not a flat earther, but a hollow earther.
Oh, interesting. That's a classic. That like goes back to 100 years.
I didn't even know about it till they started going on. I was like, what are they talking about? And I had to look it up, and I was like, oh, he's nutso.
That goes back to like when they were building the subway in New York and they were worried that they were going to find mole people.
I guess they're still out there.
Someone's got to carry that torch.
He's also a DJ, for what it's worth. I don't know if those go hand in hand.
Being a DJ and being a hollow earther?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to be one to be the other.
Yeah, it just helps get in the front door.
All right. Well, that wraps up this announcement. As always, you can reach us at continuumdrag@gmail.com. That's the email address. Mm-hmm. And on Instagram and Twitter, it'll be pretty quiet for the next few weeks, but we'll be out there somewhere. living
You'll be
our
tweeting about whatever
lives.
Deep Space Nine episode you're watching.
Oh, I'm done with that now. It's over. I watched it all. I'll tweet about it. I'll just be giving Jordan updates all summer.
Yeah, all right.
All fall. What's Jordan up to?
Oh, don't do that. No one wants to know.
Still alive, it'll just say.
Still alive, still kicking.
But that wraps it up. So, listener, we will see you sometime in the fall when we come back. And Jordan, until then, have a nice break.
You as well. How much longer can we extend this, Luke? Just keep talking, huh?
Yeah, we can keep going. We've only been 20 minutes.
I think that's enough.
Jordan, what do you think the highest rating you'll ever give a show is?
7.5.
Yeah, I think so too.
After 4 years, probably 7.5.
All right. We'll see you all in the future.
See you then. Bye-bye.